All right, let's dive in. We're going to break down one of the biggest buzzwords in business today, machine learning. But don't worry, we're skipping all the dense technical jargon. This is all about what you, as a leader, really need to know to get ahead of the curve. So let's get right to it. I mean, that's the million-dollar question, right? For years, it's been about gut feelings and looking at last quarter's numbers. But now, machine learning is giving us a totally new kind of crystal ball. And it's not based on magic, it's built on data. It's a seriously powerful tool for looking around the corner. Okay, first things first. Let's clear up something that trips a lot of people up. You hear AI and machine learning thrown around like they're the same thing. They're not. And knowing the difference is, honestly, the first step to really getting a handle on this stuff. So think of artificial intelligence, or AI, as the big, grand vision. It's the whole field dedicated to making machines smart, getting them to reason, to problem solve, to learn, kind of like we do. It's the what we're trying to achieve. And machine learning, well, this is the how. It's one of the most powerful ways we're actually making that AI vision a reality. Instead of trying to write an endless list of rules for a computer, we just give it a ton of data and let it figure out the patterns on its own. It's about learning from experience, not from a rule book. Right. So here's the bottom line. Think of it like this. AI is the destination we're headed for, truly intelligent machines. And machine learning, that's the super-powered vehicle that's actually getting us there right now. It's the engine behind almost all the amazing AI progress we're seeing. So, how in the world does a machine actually learn anything? You know, it's a lot less complicated than it sounds. As a manager, you really just need to understand the two main ways it happens, because they power pretty much everything out there. So on one hand, you've got supervised learning. This is like giving a student a textbook that already has the answers in the back. You feed the algorithm data that's already been labeled with the correct outcome. Now, on the other hand, there's unsupervised learning. This is more like sending a detective into a room full of clues with no instructions. You just give it a pile of unlabeled data, and its job is to find the hidden connections and groups all on its own. Let's make this real. A perfect example for supervised learning is predicting customer churn. You've got tons of data on past customers, right? Well, you label that data. This customer stayed, this one left. You feed that to the model, and it learns to spot the warning signs of a customer who's about to walk away. Super valuable. And for unsupervised, just think about Netflix. They don't tell their algorithm what types of viewers to look for. No way. They just dump in everybody's viewing history, and the algorithm itself finds those natural clusters. You know, the binge watchers of historical dramas or the fans of quirky comedies. That's how it recommends new shows so well. So, to sum it up, supervised is for predicting a known target, and unsupervised is for discovering new hidden patterns. Okay, you definitely don't need to be a coding genius, but it really helps to know what kind of tools your data science team is working with. So let's peek inside the toolkit at a couple of key algorithms, not the math, but what they actually do for the business. First up, we have decision trees. These are probably the most straightforward of them all. Seriously, just picture a business flowchart. It works by asking a series of simple if-then questions to get to an answer. Like, is the customer's purchase over $100? If yes, have they been a customer for more than a year? And so on down the line. Now for you, as a manager, the huge win here is that they're transparent. You can literally see the logic it used. This is gold when you need to explain why a decision was made, like for a loan application. The downside? Sometimes they can get too focused on the past data. We call it overfitting, and they might not handle brand new situations as well. So it's a trade-off between something you can easily explain and something that's a bit more flexible. And then you've got the heavy hitters, neural networks. These are modeled after the human brain, with layers of digital neurons that can find incredibly complex, subtle patterns in data. This is the magic behind stuff like facial recognition on your phone or understanding product reviews. The catch? Unlike a decision tree, they're often a black box. They're incredibly powerful, but you can't always see how they reached a conclusion. So we've talked about the what and the how, but now it's time for the most important question of all. So what? How does all this tech actually create real value in your business, day in and day out? Honestly, the applications are pretty much everywhere. In marketing, it's the engine behind truly personal recommendations and, like we said, spotting churn before it happens. In finance, it's making loan approvals faster and smarter and catching fraud in its tracks. And in operations, it can optimize a factory floor or make a supply chain run with incredible efficiency. It's a true force multiplier, no matter what department you're in.
But here's the thing. For all this amazing technology, the most important part of the equation isn't the algorithm. It's you. A machine learning project lives or dies based on the strategic leadership guiding it. Look, your job isn't to write the code. Your job is to make sure that code is solving the right business problem, one that actually moves the needle on your company's goals. You're the one who needs to ask the sharp questions to be the bridge between what's technically possible and what's strategically valuable. And maybe most important of all, you're the one who has to build a culture where data isn't just a report, it's a strategic asset.
So let's wrap it up. Machine learning isn't some far-off future concept anymore. It's here, and it's already creating winners and losers in every industry. So the question for you isn't if it's going to change your business. The real question is, how are you going to lead that change?